This podcast is brought to you by Gorillaware, MALTA.
Hey everyone. So today I just wanted to give you some insight. Insight to what, you might ask? Insight to the only thing that I have been speaking about for the last 39 years. Before social media, this would be something that I would do one-on-one, or this would be something I would do in the gym with a client, in my office, in corporation seminar, in a large seminar just for, people, everyday people who wanted to come listen to some sound advice and knowledge. And that sort of got me, thinking about how things have changed over the last 39 years. And I just, in 39 years, what hasn't changed is people do wish to be better. They do wish to be healthier. I haven't met anyone yet who has found themselves lying on their back, looking up at the ceiling of a hospital with tubes going in them and people extracting blood and them having to eat the horrible food that is, resident inside of a hospital. I haven't seen any of those people who have ever not said, why didn't they do something beforehand? Why didn't they do something different? The importance of health becomes very evident at that moment in time. And a lot of times when people are in that situation, they would usually give up whatever they need to give up to go back to before them ever being in a position of being in the hospital to change things. We are, as a society, a reactive type people. There are some who are proactive that go to the dentist every year for a cleanup. So ultimately, they don't have to spend all the thousands and thousands of dollars or euros or wherever you're from on fixing their teeth. There are those that are in the gym and are eating well and who are knowledgeable on these things because they don't feel like spending the rest of their life in care, tied to, services, tied to medications, tied to these types of things. That I know. The issue, as I see it, especially from then to now, when it comes to people from before to people now, is that people don't seem to stop to consider what reaction does. When you're not feeling well and you feel like you can't climb up the stairs without huffing and puffing and you're out of breath. When you look in the mirror and you just don't like what you see. You have fats rolling off of your clothesline. You have a difficult time going to the stores to buy anything that makes you look good. You look in the mirror and you're not really impressed. And so out of reaction to that, you decide that you want to make some sort of changes, but you don't really know how. You think you know how. And that would be to ask someone who does know how. And that in there lies a little bit of an issue because it makes sense that you want to learn how. You probably should have already learned how through just the natural progression of growing up. Living life as a child should have taught you a lot of things. And that is one, is that when you're active on a daily basis and when you're sort of carefree and having fun, you can really kind of eat what you want and you'll still stay in shape because, energy in and energy out. Sometimes energy out is more than energy in. So sometimes you are more active than you are consuming calories. But nonetheless, people, especially when they're kids, are healthier, and because they're more active. But this is where the knowledge really comes in, but no one's really paying attention, neither are parents. But nowadays, of course, like we get to a certain point where we look, like I said, you look in the mirror and you just don't like what you see, and we react to that, and we don't really know what to do. So we do what anyone will do, and that is to either look on Facebook and see what, marketing is being done to promote a certain person, or what someone says that sort of triggers your mind. Reputation alone. Some people go to people because of reputation, and some people go because, socialites or those influencers on social media are saying this is a good thing, and that's sort of how we kind of decide where we want to go and what we want to do. If it was that easy and it really worked, then there'd be no one really in trouble. Heart issues wouldn't be prevalent worldwide, the number one cause of death worldwide. Either would, other things like stroke and cancer and all of these types of things. But with AI and social media and, no one really seeking expert help. They don't know what expert help is. People are not qualified. A lot of people aren't qualified. And just because, you saw a coach and then became an athlete and then did a show and competed and maybe won doesn't make you qualified. Uh, just because you read a book or read a few books, and, sometimes even going to school doesn't make you qualified. I can, sort of prove that point or expand on that point. But at this point in time, I'm just going to leave it. Not everyone who goes to school, uh, though, having learned a certain thing, makes them, qualified or capable of helping you. So, but what I've noticed, in the last 39 years is just that people are so easy to just go in different directions with different people, always trying the new thing, like the new restaurant on the block. So we'll try the new trainer or the new nutritionist, or we'll try the new fad or the new thing because, well, that's exciting. And it's like, hey, let's do this or let's do that because it's what everyone else is doing. Yet, like if you had to see a surgeon who was going to operate on you, for a heart problem or any kind of issue, you wouldn't just kind of look on social media and find a doctor who had good marketing or who said good words. You would probably go to someone who has real experience. And this is something that's very difficult to come by. Real experience, not just relatability, not meaning that they've actually gone through the same things that you're going through, but experience in helping a huge amount of people to success, because that's really where it comes down to. The proof is in the pudding. There are those who claim to know lots of things and can share lots of things and can say lots of things with a lots of flair and lots of charisma, and that sells people. But this is not your life, and your health is not something that should be up for sale. It's not for auction. It is for knowledge. It is for experience. It is for wisdom. You are looking for someone to help you to gain perspective on your life, on your body, on your requirements, your needs, so that down the road, you do not have to react to problems that come up lying face up in a hospital and then having to think, well, how did you get yourself in that position? But rather knowing what to do way ahead of time, so that the only reason why you're in a hospital is in the event of some type of genetic anomaly or an accident or something of that nature, but not based on your own hand and not doing what it is that you should be doing your entire life to take care of that life, so that you do not have to be in a position to have to pick and choose what is right, what is wrong, what is good, and what is bad. There's just way too many people in this industry now pushing a lot of stuff, saying a lot of things. Everyone's saying it with this AI script, not from experience, but because they're pulling experiences off of a computer. You know, it really actually irritates me. There's nothing more frustrating than when you see people who really want to change, really want to be their best self. They really want it. It's not something that they're just saying, "Oh, I'd like to have this. I wish." They really, really want something great. And the downfall is that they put their trust and faith in someone who doesn't have the knowledge. And I don't mean that they haven't gone to school, because you could go to school. Sure, you can go to school. Just because mechanics go to school doesn't make them a great mechanic. Just because someone learns how to paint and goes to school to paint doesn't mean that they're going to be doing a great job. Doesn't mean that their abilities are great. Doesn't mean that they know how to relate or understand or communicate. Doesn't mean that they ask the right questions. Doesn't mean that they have this developed understanding of you, which is, something that you can only get from time. It's not something that you learn. You don't learn how to talk to people. You don't learn how to understand people. You do not learn how to relate to people. You just do. And when you relate to people, you know how to speak to them. You speak to them in their language. And then when you understand what they're going through, because you've probably been through it yourself, or because you've been with a lot of people in front of you who have gone through it and you've helped them through, then you take their specific circumstances and you develop something that would be designed solely for them, because ultimately that's how you work with someone. That's how you help someone to succeed. It's not about the schooling. It's not about the education as much. As about understanding and really knowing and having really gone through it. So it does bother me, because there are a lot of people who have put their faith in the wrong hands and have had aftermaths that are horrible. No one is going to put up on their, before and after pictures, the, 90% of people who failed their program. To further that point, there's a program a long time ago. It's called Body for Life, or Fit for Life, Body for Life, Body for Life. And it's a challenge, and basically you take an idea and you duplicate it, triplicate it, you multiply it into 1, 10, 100, or 1,000. You could put 10,000 people onto this plan. And the law of average says that 1%, it will be for them, because it's just the law of average. It's just by chance that you're building the right path for someone. So you could build the right path for 1% of whatever, 1,000, 100. Well, 1% of 100 is one, which means that the program, out of 100 people who followed it, one would succeed. Well, that's great. You can take that one person and put them on your Facebook or your social media and say, "Look what I've done." And people will look at that and go, "Wow, look at that." Without asking, what are the other 99%? What did they do? Well, they failed. Why? Well, lots of reasons. Not just because of maybe the program that you gave them, but because of their own, issues. They don't know how to commit. They don't follow. They don't listen. They give up. Lots of things. But if 1% out of 100 succeed, and you have 1,000 people in a program, or 10,000, and you take 1%, and you take 1,000 people who have been successful and you put that out, well, there's a lot of power in showing 1,000 success stories. People will think that you are successful at what you do because you just showed 1,000 people. Yet that's only 1%. And the failure rate is much higher. And this happens because, and for really only one reason, because the plan that was designed wasn't designed for anyone in particular. It is just designed as a generality. And the law of average says that 1 out of 1%, 1%, well, it'll fit. Well, when a person stands up and says, listen, I really need to change, or I really need to feel better, they're not looking at 1% success rate. They are expecting a 100% success rate. They're seeking you to help them. So if you have 10 clients, then they all should be successful. If you have 100 clients, they all should be successful, or at least you provide them the information that would make them successful. And the only reason why they're not is because they just don't follow, is because they just decide to go down a different path or quit or whatever. Then that's their responsibility. But to be successful, first, you, the coach, the trainer, the educator, the physician, you have to work with a person on a one-on-one independent basis. And this is not something that you're going to see coming from social media. This is not something that you're going to see being influenced. This is not something that you're going to get from just picking eeny, meeny, miny, mo. They look good. Oh, I like their marketing. Oh, I like their logo. Oh, someone said this about them. Going back to what I said, if you have someone who's a brain surgeon, you don't look for someone who's flashy and whatever. You look at someone who has a track record, a history of success, a history of success. I'm not saying that people who have a track, I've been in this business for 39 years. I haven't had 1,000 clients or 5,000 clients or 10,000 clients. I've had way more clients than that. And I've always said the success rate of my clients is 100%. And the only thing that stops that from happening is this genetic abnormality that I'm not aware of. Something that goes beyond what I can see, what I can evaluate, what I can test, what they've told me. So that means something internal. And I'm not a physician, so I can't, I don't do blood tests, and I can't tell, I have to only go on the information that's provided to me by the person. But barring those things, the only reason why people haven't succeeded is they just, have wrong expectations. They want things overnight. Because things don't happen overnight, they either quit, give up, get dissatisfied, get disillusioned, get upset because they saw someone on some other, channel or some other with another coach or whatever doing something, whatever, irresponsible, crazy, like starving themselves or being in a deficit when it comes to nutrition by a great rate. And then they say, well, that's what I want. It happened quick for them. Everyone's body is unique. Everyone's different. So these things are just stupid to be looking at and assessing, your oh my God, longevity. Sorry. So the issue in the end is, what can be done for you? How can you succeed? And how can you not be the 1%? How can you be the 100%? And if you're willing to follow and learn and understand that things take time and that God willing, you're here anyway in a year or 2 or 3. So you do not have to have your full transformation done in a month or 2. You would look back at the end of your life and then look back this way and say, my life has been very beneficial. I've lived a healthy, good life. I've done my very, very best. And I could see all the way along I was progressing. And that's the key. So is it disappointing? Absolutely. Is it disappointing to see people not get what they want? Absolutely. Is it disappointing when you try to share and enlighten people as to what they need to do, yes, it's disappointing because uh, it's coming down to all these stupid things, algorithms, marketing. How much money do you want to spend on ads on Facebook so that people can see you? You know, it's all become business. If you want to make money in your business, you got to spend a lot of money so that people can see you, so that then they can hear you, so then maybe they choose to be with you. There's no, there's no, there's no restrictions when it comes to any of this. All over Instagram, all over TikTok, all over the social media, just everything is wide open. It's just it's so confusing and frustrating and makes me literally think it's time to walk away from this because there's no point really in trying to open up the minds and the eyes of people who really want to be healthy, because no one really wants to be healthy anymore by doing it the right way. They think because they've been sold this lie that it can be done, you know, well, if it's not done already, it's no good. Next, move on. Yeah, it's very frustrating. Um, it's changed a lot in the last 39 years. I can tell you that. It was not difficult when I first started this. When I first started this, um, you know, it comes down to the fact that there just wasn't a lot of people, coaching, and there wasn't a lot of people um, even really interested in being fit. You know, I mean, when I started, in the gym, uh, women were in the gym with their hair back combed with hairspray. They were wearing tights, and then they were wearing a thong on top of their tights, tons of makeup, sort of following the Jane Fonda sort of thing. And in the gym, just for, I don't know, looks, tension, um, not doing too much. There was very few, to be honest with you. Uh, and guys, men have always been training. It's sort of how it was. And obviously it's changed. And, I mean, it's true, social media and media back in those days, which was magazines and TV, was doing a certain job, making people feel a little bit second rate by the way they were looking. And of course they would do that because they're trying to sell something, sell food, sell products, sell services, sell an image. I mean, back in the day when I started 39 years ago, you would be you would have to look around a while to find a woman who had implants. Wasn't prevalent. Now it's not implants anymore. Now you're seeing, well, implants are just like second nature, and lips are second nature. And now people are getting bum implants and, like, I mean, this isn't health at all. All the things that you see today, all the Botox, all the injections, all these kinds of things, everyone's saying, well, yeah, we just want to be better. We want to look better. We want to feel better, and we really don't want to do the natural things, the natural way of doing it. So this is the easiest. I see lots of before and afters of people who go to Turkey, get their stomach stapled. They have a before picture when they're fat. And then, of course, they go see a nutritionist after and say, hey, can you just help me with a little bit of eating? Da, 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 da. And then the nutritionist puts up a picture of them with the before and after. And the before was them before the surgery, and the after is after they've just starved themselves down completely. And then the trainer or the coach takes credit for that. Meanwhile, it has nothing to do with the coach at all. Like it has to do with the fact that someone just took away 90% of their capacity to eat food, and they just if you do that to an animal in the wild, they're going to get small too. Like, I mean, starve anyone and they're going to lose their weight. So, but people are taking credit for that. And in the end, people who are unsuspecting are going, wow, what an amazing transformation. Yeah, amazing. It is amazing. I mean, if you just go, go out into the desert and see animals that haven't been fed for a couple of months, and you'll see them all skin and bones. That's a transformation. It's not a good one, but anyway, I digress. Yeah, like as I said, I mean, why, like, I'm going to just say this. Why am I even sharing this? Well, I'm sharing this for a lot of reasons. One is that it's just really, it's sad that people are not awake. It's sad that they think they're awake, and it's what's even more sad is that people think they know. They know things. They know this. They know that, and they know how. How do you know? Well, they know because I know because it says so on YouTube, or I'm reading it, or I'm hearing it from this person, or scientists say it, or it's one of the biggest fallacies. Products that get sold, some of the biggest products, some of these big multi-level marketing company products, nutrition products, they pay the scientists to say what they want them to say. Because they know that, if there's a bunch of people out there that will trust what a scientist says. So when a scientist says, well, I did this product, it's very, very good, and da, 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 then all of a sudden it gets credibility. So you pay the scientist for the credibility. So it's not real. A lot of these products, which are they're very expensive because they're so great. Well, they're so expensive because they've got to pay everyone on the tier system of the network marketing, the multi-level marketing. Everyone has to get paid. So the product has to be expensive because then therefore that's the only way that people can make money. So, if you buy a product that's 80 euros, for like 2 kilograms of protein, let's say. And they say, well, it's great because, it's so expensive because it's so great. Well, no, it's not. It's so expensive because the markup is so huge so that everyone gets paid. That's how it works. It's business. Everything is business. Health is business. It's sold. Everything is sold. A human being is sold. I'm sure that most of you haven't even watched this to this point because that's just usually how it goes. People don't really want to learn, and my opinion probably doesn't matter to most people, which is unfortunate actually, because as I said, I've been doing this for 39 years, and if there is one opinion that does really count, I can tell you right now, one of my opinion is a good opinion because it's based on solid stuff. It's not a whim. It's not to sell. It's not. I want people to be better. That is my focus. I want people to learn. you know. But yeah, anyway, I can go off on tangents all day long. It's like I said, it's just frustrating. It's frustrating because this is the nature of the beast, and people just don't recognize it. And it'll always be that way. It's only gonna get worse, and all these firms and stuff, marketing agencies and whatever, they're always coming up with new ways of selling a concept so that people are willing to purchase the new thing. It's like, you know, if you've ever walked into a butcher shop, on the wall, then you'll usually see like a picture of the cow. And they will show all the different sections of the cow, like this is the ribs, this is the roast, and like all the different parts of meat that you will eat, and they will cut that beef up. So you see that every single part of that animal is sold to make profit, obviously. Hence why, like in the old days, farmers used to raise cows and they would take, let's say, for example, a year to come to fruition so that before they would slaughter it. And now they do it in months. Well, because they're just filling them full of drugs and antibiotics so that these animals just can blow up so fast so they can do the same thing. And instead of having one cow be sold once per year, for example, you can have 4 cows being sold throughout the year. So 4 times the money. So it's business. Same thing with, foods and vegetables and everything grown, it's all like that. But anyway, when it comes to this beef, you see all the different aspects that can be sold. Well, you don't think that someone sat back in a think tank and said, well, human beings, how can we make money off of humans? What can we sell on humans? How can we generate money? There's all these think tanks out there thinking how to get money out of people. That's all it is. It's just like human beings are ATM machines. They're a direct line from their bank to the supplier. Okay, how do we get money out of them? What do we do? So they just take the human body and they just cut it into pieces and they go lips, eyes, cheeks, jowls, neck, eyelids, hair, piercings, ears, breasts, tummy tuck, this, butt lift, legs, and it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. You couldn't go back 100 years and see any of this. You wouldn't anticipate this 100 years ago. People were spending money in 100 years ago on right things, on food, on how to live as best as they can. They weren't out spending money like this. But now people are going into debt, going to the bank for a loan to get a boob job, or not even a boob. No, they're doing a full out. They're doing full out. Okay, I'm going to do my boobs, going to do my bum. I got to do Botox, I do this. And the banks, I've seen them. The banks are saying, well, if you want surgical procedures, we can provide you a loan. I don't know what world we're living in anymore. You know, if you've got to this point and you've watched this, you might say, I'm old school or I'm just old. Well, I'm neither. I am old school. And if it means work hard, do things right, um, don't cheat your way through it, like work hard, eat right, exercise, put your time in and allow time to happen. Then yeah, that's old school. That's how I live. Okay. And it has its dividends as well. It pays out great rewards. It really does. But just the if being the new if being part of this new culture, this new society it means that I just say to hell with all the logic and the common sense and just my best friend, the number one on my speed dial on my phone is my plastic surgeon. I'm in the wrong world. And when I see kids already 14, 15 talking about getting nose jobs and breast implants and stuff, they haven't even fully grown yet. And doctors, it's okay. I mean, there's just so many things. It all gets very controversial. It all gets very stupid. I mean, it's what happens for money. You know what I'm saying. When you're hearing what I'm saying to you right now, you know what I'm saying. It's all about money, all that hard-earned money that you work hard for. And where's it going? I'm not saying this is everyone. I'm just speaking to the people who are pushing this and there's a lot. I lived in Palm Springs, California before I put my feet into this country. The issue wasn't whether or not a girl should get, breast augmentation or a nose job. The question was, how early? Is 14 too young? That was the question. Yeah. And then people say, well, it's my own business. I can do whatever I want. You're absolutely right. You can do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do. And that, of course, is how we got to where we are today. Everyone can do whatever they want to do. There's no rules, no more. A couple of weeks ago, I was at Radisson having some breakfast, had to go to the bathroom. Went, down, went into the bathroom and jumped into the stall. And when I turned around, there was a woman standing there. And I said to myself, what the hell is this woman doing in this bathroom? There's a bathroom for women right across. And she's going into the bathroom in here. Why? It's not like there was like 20 people in the woman's bathroom and she was so packed that she had to use this bathroom because there's no rules. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. Like there's nothing makes sense. So that's the whole thing. I mean, it's the bottom line, I mean, we can call this a rant. Probably it is. It's a cathartic rant. I'm trying to make sense of all the stupidity. And I'm trying to make the sense of like how I just see all this crap everywhere, all over Facebook and social media. And it's just really tiring. It's tiring knowing that people fall for this shit. And that's exactly what it is. It's shit. Most people doing this stuff, it's shit. You know who's good because they speak proper. They speak truth and you know it. You can hear it. You can see it. It's not some bullshit stuff put together by AI and this whole hype selling crap. I mean, look, I don't do this stuff properly. I don't know algorithms. I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. All I care about is getting people to wake up and understand the truth. That's real. That's real. And I know people in the country I'm in that are like that, but I don't know a lot. But I know some, and I've spoken to them, and they say, yeah, I understand what you're talking about because we deal with the same thing. It's a fight. It's like one dog, sorry, it's like 10 dogs trying to get food out of one bowl. So you have everyone attacking. And they're not attacking, first they all want to eat, of course, it makes sense, but they're all attacking each other. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. So then of course, you have to come up with gimmicks and bullshit to sell people. And then of course people are gullible. So they just believe crap and believe all the stuff that they hear on social media and all this kind of stuff. And it's just really, really irritating. It really is. And I didn't get involved in this business to fight that fight. I got involved in this business myself personally to help people, educate people, empower people. I don't even really care, to be honest with you. I know people come to me because they want to lose weight. They want to change, their life. But I don't really care if they change their weight. That's not my focus. My focus is that you change your mind. You wake up. You start to understand this is not something that you do for a day or a week. It's something that you do, period. I don't care if you fall down and have problems in your life or circumstances. That doesn't mean you give up on yourself and just do something else. You live this lifestyle. You take care of yourself, period. And then through all the hardships that you have to go through, because you're still taking care of yourself, you're in a position of strength to manage those issues. Then you're not going to sit there depressed and down and on, then talking to your psychiatrist, and then he's giving you antidepressants. You're taking pills for that and pills for this. You can't sleep and all that crap. If you take care of yourself, you're in a position of strength and you can fight off those demons, if you want to call them that, the adversity that life has for you. You know, you, yeah. So anyway, I think it's time to wake up, people. Get off of your social media, you know, go back to self. Start looking inside of your head, in your brain, and asking yourself, what is it that you want? What do you really want? You want to look good so that people can, wow, you look good? Or do you want to look good because it's a byproduct of feeling good, of being good, because it means that you're healthy? Because you can be the most beautiful dead person, but who cares? I can tell you, I'll give you a Ferrari if you want. I'll give you a Ferrari. I'll give you a Lamborghini. Beautiful car. Smell it. Interior, beautiful, immaculate, but the engine's completely screwed. It costs you more money to get that engine that you won't even bother. So, like, I mean, who cares how you look on the outside as much as how you look on the inside? And that inside starts with your mind, how strong you are, how confident you are, what kind of self-esteem you have, what kind of self-love you have, what kind of self-respect you have, what kind of values you have. And then you take that mind and then you look at yourself and say, I want to be better because I want a better life for myself. And I certainly want a better life for my children. So I'm going to teach my children because I'm going to live it. So I'm going to teach it by leading by example. So I'm going to live my life in the best way so that I become a beacon or an example to my children so that they can grow up, love themselves, have real confidence in themselves so that they don't go out and do decisions based on what society says, but they make decisions based on what they say. Well, that's a great one. And I swear to God, if you live like that, you're going to look okay because it's a byproduct of being healthy. You know, like I said, you're going to look great through all the crappy means and all the stupid means and all the money means. You can spend a lot of money. I mean, look at some of these people on YouTube and stuff who spent 100,000, 200,000 on plastic surgery. And I don't even know they don't even look like human beings anymore, in my opinion. But anyway, mm, they're not healthier. They're not healthier. So to me, I don't care. It's a waste of money. If you're if you're an individual who values truth, if you value someone telling you the truth, if you want someone to tell you, look, I can help you, but you got to help yourself. If you value that, you respect that. If you want to be better, if you want to wake up in the morning and work at yourself and then be proud of what you get because you worked for it, well, those are the people I like to talk to. Those are the people I like to work for or work with, let's say. If you're the kind of person who can, cheat on an exam, get 100% because you cheated, and then go brag to everyone how smart you are, I'm not interested. Like I wouldn't be bothered. And maybe that's why, maybe people are a little bit intimidated to come to me because I'm serious about it. I don't know. Maybe because I'm not one of those people that say, yeah, sure, of course, do whatever you want to do. Yeah, yeah, whatever. Yeah, oh, of course. You can do whatever you want to do and it'll all work for you, because it won't. Maybe people don't like the truth. Yeah, that's what I think it is. I don't think people really want the truth. That's how I see it. But really, there's nothing more valuable in the world than truth. But it seems like we're living in a world that people want to be told fairy tales. And I thought those ended when we were like 5 or 6. But people are living in a world of fairy tales. And they're making sure that they go see the plastic surgeon and the doctors and all, doing all the crappy things, the shit things, to fulfill that fantasy. Well, that's not me. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. It started out with me wanting to say something, just how things have changed in the last 39 years, but that's what it turned out. But I don't know. If you listen to it all the way, I appreciate it. If you like my sort of truth, then maybe make a comment. Maybe the video. Maybe share the video. Maybe tell people if you've watched it all the way through. Tell them to watch it. I know it's not like, what is it? I can't even tell you because I don't watch TV. Exile Island or something like that. I don't know, wherever people get together and date, and it's all the social scene and it's all bullshit as well. All this garbage stuff that people watch, which means nothing. It's a mind trap, brain drain. But instead of watching that for 30 minutes, maybe watch something like this for 30 minutes. Doesn't have to be me. Watch anyone who has some authenticity to them, who speaks truth. And if you want to know how to find out if someone's speaking truth, you do what I do. You look at someone right in the eyes. You know that they're not reading. You know that they're not reciting or memorizing. You look in their eyes and you see that you can see it. Truth is not hard to see. And you have a sense in your brain that allows you to understand what truth is. But I digress, because I think sometimes truth hurts a lot of people. A lot of people want to live in a fantasy land when it comes to this health and wellness and this whole thing. It's not a fantasy land. It's a reality. Anyway, that's it. Like the video. Okay. Subscribe. And by all means, share this if you think it's worth it. And if you followed all the way through to the end, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay. Have an awesome, awesome day.